Papa here. Just want to do a quick video. This is my RCBS Junior press that was made, I think, in 1974. So it's over 40 years old. Older than some of you guys that are watching this video. It was called the Ruckchucker Junior because it's just smaller. But it does everything I want it to do and then more. It just doesn't have the space. Let me see if I can turn this a little bit more in here for the taller cartridges, but I can load 30-06 or anything like that all day long, and it was a great press. And like I said years ago, I only paid 20 bucks for it off a Craigslist ad. Now RCBS has ponied up in more ways than one. They gave me a new RAM for it a couple of years ago, and I've been putting it off. This is the one that was on it. It really wasn't all that bad, but they sent me a new one because they didn't want me working on this and removing any more metal because it was going to cause it to have a wobble in here. So they sent me a new one for free. Then recently I had the priming arm. This is one of the original, and it's got a little set screw that you would tighten up on this. This happens to be a small primer, and I was wanting to get the large primer cut for it because I can't find it. And I called them up and asked them, you guys still making the large primer cup, and how much are they? He said, well, do you have the screw-in type or the smooth one? And I said, I've got the smooth one with the set screw. He said, well, we don't make those anymore. I said, damn. All right. Well, I'll just go on the internet and do a search on it. He said, but hang on. He said, I'll tell you what I'll do. He says, I'll send you the new kind. That's got the screw-in type cup here, and it's the same thing. And I'll send it to you, no charge. That's $25 for the part right there. That they didn't have to, but they did. And you'll never hear me say a bad thing about RCBS. The customer service, the quality of the product they make. This press is 40 years old. It's made thousands and thousands and thousands of rounds of ammunition, and it's still tight as a drum. It makes great ammunition. I use it for my quote-unquote precision rounds because it's just so tight and so good, and it's amazing, just simply amazing. So when I replaced the RAM, I took the stuff down here and pulled it all out and cleaned it out, and because there was 40 years worth of garbage in there. When I did, I discovered one of the flaws of the RCBS Junior press is because of the way the handle comes off here, that they don't like to stay up by themselves, and it doesn't take much to get it going because it doesn't come back up over like the newer presses do. It's just all hanging out here waiting to go. So I said, even back in the old instructions for the original RCBS Junior, Ruckchucker Junior, they said their suggestion was put a rubber band around it to hold it up. Works good. But they're sending me out, it uses these bent spring washers. And they didn't have any. They were on back order, so they're supposed to send me those too. And as soon as I get that package, I'll try putting a couple in down here and see if that don't tighten it up to hold it up a little bit. But my God, for 20 bucks, this thing will make match grade ammunition all day long. It's solid as a rock, and it just doesn't have any run out on the RAM. The lineup for the dies is perfect. The only thing that keeps you from making ultimate match grade bench rest type ammo with this thing is the die set that you choose to use. You know, I see guys going out and buying these, you know, $200, $400, $600 single stage presses. And it boggles my mind, because the ammo they're making with that press isn't any more accurate than what I can do on this press. It's just a fact. It may be newer, it may be fancier, whatever, but it's not going to be any better than what I can do on this press. And people are still making stuff for it. This is the original primer catch for when you're depriming your ammo. And it goes on like this, with this little bar to hold it together for you to keep it up there. And the problem is, when you deprime, the primers come down to shoot and hit here, and they just go helter-skelter. Some of them go in here, some of them go on the floor, some of them go on the bench. It wasn't RCBS's best design. The original primer catchers for this press was aluminum, and God only knows where it went. But I was on the internet and I was looking around, and I found this guy on primercatchers.com, and he makes a whole bunch of different primer catchers, not only for RCBS but Hornady and Lyman and a great deal. You know, by the way, here's a coupon code for 10% off. There you go. And he makes one for the for this press, for the Junior 2 and 3, and it's a pretty neat setup. It's a two-piece steel. This part goes in the slot, and it's got a couple magnets to hold it in place, and you push that down flush with the top of the ram. When the primer comes out, it hits that, and it gets kicked out. And what it gets kicked out into is this. And this just slides into, come on, thank you, slides into the priming slot here, and there's a couple of screws you tighten down with an Allen wrench, and this catches it and puts it down the tube, and at the end of the tube you can have a jar, a bottle, whatever you want. And it's 3D printed, but it's a great design. I mean, it just fits perfect. It doesn't get in your way when you're rocking. You just have the shell holder either to this side or that side, depending on how you do it, and it catches every primer. There's nothing on the floor anymore, nothing on the bench. And I think this was $14, and it was like $3.80 shipping. I mean, it's a great deal. There's another guy out there that has a design. Let me get this out of here. But you have to take and turn the ram around, and his design snaps in back here in the back, which is fine. It works. But if you're also going to be using this for priming on your stuff, this is where the primer attachments go. Oops. This arm goes here and fits into that slot to prime, and it feeds from this, which goes up in here. And when you're priming, you just come back and hit this, and you got your tube in here, and there's a little spring stop in here. You hit that, primer goes into the cup, and you prime, and you can rock and roll pretty quick with it. It's a simple design, but it works well. So with this primer catcher's design, I do have to take the priming stuff out, but that's two Allen head screws and one pin that holds the primer arm in place, and I can be set up to not only size and deprime and not have a mess with my $20 press. Well, excuse me, now it's a $34 press with that primer catcher. Granted, you're not going to find a $20 deal every day. Mostly what I've seen lately is anywhere from 40 to, some guys asking $100 for these things, and they'll never get the $100 for them. If you can find a press like this, the Reloader Junior or the Reloader Special RS, get them because they're cheap, and you can take the money that you would have spent on one of these new fancy schmancy $200, $300, $400 single stage presses, and take that extra money and buy a true match grade die set. And you'll be cranking out match grade ammo all day long and laughing all the way to the bank. You might even be able to buy a couple boxes of bullets or, a couple pounds of powder. I just don't see the logic. I understand the instant gratification of getting the new press and the excitement and all that stuff. I really, truly do. But I am such a tightwad because I have to be. Pushing 62 and unemployed. What money I get, I make sure I get every damn penny's worth out of it. So take a look at it, guys. You can't go wrong. All right? If you got any questions or comments, post them down below. Thumbs up would be greatly appreciated. Thank you guys for watching, taking the time. It is greatly appreciated. Y'all have a good day. And remember, keep smiling. It makes people wonder what you've been up to. Later, YouTube.